Welcome to the next set of quick videos. This will be about home office, branch, and agency. So the first one here will be home office and branch, which will focus on the journal entries. So first of all, what's the deal with home office and branch? So in home office and branch, there are two physical locations. So separate po sila. Even though nowadays you can utilize e-commerce, there are still some industries that would have to rely on physical locations. Okay? At the same time, since they are two physical locations, even though they are considered one entity, their operations are considered autonomous. Meaning, the branch doesn't have to rely on the home office and vice versa, of course, no? The branch can to some degree rely on its self-judgment. Okay? Pwede po siyang mag-decide on its own for certain decisions. Okay? Specifically, those relating to operations. Siyempre, wag naman yung mga pang long term. Yung mga long term, siyempre, dapat nagre-rely sila sa home office. Pero for the operations, the day-to-day, the short term, siyempre, for efficiency purposes, the branch can decide on its own, no? Now, let me just touch back dun sa kaninang sinabi ko. The home office and the branch are one legal entity po. Okay? So, this is different from a next topic, which is business combination, wherein there are two separate legal entities. Here, in the home office and the branch, isang legal entity lang po siya na physically nagkahiwalay-hiwalay. Okay? So, syempre, kung one legal entity, it is also considered as one economic entity. As in, isang reporting entity lang po in terms of IFRS. Okay? So, you can think of it like, ito, okay, hopefully alam nyo yan, no? So, si Naruto na nagkage-bunshin, okay? 'Di ba kapag at the end of the day, kapag nawala na yung mga clone, nagbabalik-balik lahat sa original Naruto, nagko-combine din lahat, no? So, essentially, that's the same concept. So, now, we have a question. Kasi magkahiwalay si home office and branch, di ba? So, the question is, can the home office and the branch transact with each other? Kasi they are legally one entity, pero physically separate. And in decision making, sa operations nga, separate din sila, di ba? So, can they transact with each other? And of course, the answer is yes. Okay? Pero itong yes na to would give us a new problem. Okay? Bakit? Kasi syempre, transactions with yourself should not be reported for external reporting purposes. 'Di ba? Parang nakakahiya kapag pinakita mo sa ibang tao na kausap mo yung sarili mo. 'Di ba? So, syempre, dapat hindi natin pinapakita yung mga ganong transactions or at least for external reporting purposes. Kasi can you imagine, sabi ko, o bebenta ko to sa sarili ko. Yumaman ba ako? Syempre, hindi. 'Di ba? Syempre, hindi. Okay? So, syempre, transactions with yourself does not make sense, at least for external reporting purposes, di ba? So, with that said, anong gagawin nating solution? So, the solution is, we can still track those transactions. Kasi magta-transact talaga yan regardless, no? So, what we can do is just track or facilitate those transactions internally. So, for internal reporting purposes, we can facilitate that through what we call the reciprocal accounts. Okay? Pero syempre, kapag tayo ay mag-external reporting purposes na, kapag pagsasamahin ko na yung books ni home office and books ni branch, then I would have to eliminate those reciprocal accounts, no? So, what are these reciprocal accounts ba? So, the reciprocal accounts are, in the books of the home office, that's the investment in branch. Pero in the books of the branch, that's the home office current. Okay, so, magkaiba po. So, that means, no, ingat. Kasi sometimes, tinatanong ni examiner, how much is the investment in the branch books? O kaya, how much is the home office current in the home office books? So, syempre, kapag ganun yung tanong, thank you, okay, thank you. Kasi hindi mo na kailangan mag-solve, di ba? The answer should always be zero. Kasi there's no such thing. Okay? Laging investment in branch in the home office books, home office current in the branch books. Alright? So, anong klaseng account ba itong mga to? So, the investment in branch, investment, di ba? Investment account. So, an investment is an asset account, di ba? So, si home office, nag-invest sa branch niya. So, meron siyang investment sa branch. So, asset niya yun. Okay? At the same time, si branch, ininvestan ng owner niya. Si branch nagkaroon ng investment. Si branch nagkaroon ng, ng owner. Okay? So, syempre, that means meron siyang equity account. Home office current is the equity account in the books of the branch. Okay? So, now, how do we record. Okay? How do we journalize? So ako ganito ko iniisip yung mga journal entries. So first of all, okay. So first of all, ganito, no? Meron akong sample transaction sa taas and then we have the home office books to your left and the branch books to your right. So the transaction is home office transferred cash to the branch. So ang iniisip ko lagi is the home office and the branch are essentially one entity. So iniisip ko dyan, ako ay nag-transfer ng cash sa sarili ko. So dahil nakatanggap ako ng cash, debit cash. Dahil nagpadala ako ng cash, credit cash. So, ang iniisip kong entry ay ganito. Okay? Now, of course, walang sense yan. Kaya, ihiwalay natin. Sino ba sa kanila yung tumanggap ng cash? Si branch ang tumanggap. Tapos, sino ang nagpadala ng cash? Si home office. So, sino ang debit cash? Si branch. Sino ang credit cash? Si home office. So, paghiwalayin natin. Tapos, syempre, ngayon, si home office, okay? Si home office, kulang ng debit. Tapos, si branch, kulang ng credit. So, yung kulang na yon, that will be your reciprocal accounts. Okay? So, si home office, meron siyang debit investment in branch credit cash. Tapos si branch naman, meron siyang debit cash, credit, home office current. Okay? Let's try it again. This time with shipments. Okay? So, home office ship goods to the branch at cost. Now, for now, wag mo munang intindihin yung at cost. Although, at this point, since this is a quick bid, malamang alam mo na hindi lang laging at cost yan, di ba? Meron pang build price. Pero that will be for another quick bid. So for now, ito muna, focus muna tayo sa basics, no? So, shipments as in si home office ay nagpadala ng goods kay branch. So again, ako ay nagpadala ng goods sa sarili ko. So debit inventory, credit inventory. Pero again, you do not use the inventory account kapag kapag periodic method, 'di ba? And by default, periodic method tayo. So, gagamit tayo ng ibang account title. Usually, purchases kapag dumadagdag, di ba? Pero this is not a purchase. Kasi this came from the home office, di ba? So, what we will use is the shipment account. Okay, shipment account po. So, debit, shipments from home office. Credit, shipments to branch. Okay? So, debit shipments from home office is exactly that, no? Galing kay home office to, natanggap ko. So, increase ito sa inventory ko. At the same time, yung shipments to branch, ito ay papunta kay branch. Ito ay pinadala ko. So, this will be reduction in my inventory account. Okay? So, that means, sino ba nagpadala? Si home office. Sino ba nanggaling? Kanino ba papunta? Kay branch. Okay? So, sino nagpadala? Si home office. Siya yung credit. Tapos, sino ba ang tumanggap? Si branch. Siya yung debit. So, split natin. So, shipments from home office, debit kay branch. Shipments to branch, credit kay home office. Again, kulang-kulang. So, let's fill things up with our reciprocal accounts. Okay? Another. So, dito, we have home office paid accounts payable of the branch. So, dito, ako ay nagbayad ng accounts payable ko. So, yun, medyo no? Medyo may sense naman yun. Ako ay nagbayad ng accounts payable ko. So, ito kahit na ABM student, kahit na first year accountancy student, kayang-kayang sagutin, di ba? What is the journal entry? Siyempre, the journal entry will be debit, accounts payable, credit, cash. Okay? Pero ngayon, let's do advanced accounting in the sense na sino ba nagbayad at kanino ba yung binayaran. 'Di ba? So sabi kasi dito, home office paid. So si home office na nagbayad. So siya yung nabawasan ng cash. So the credit cash will be in the home office books. Pero paid ano? Ang sabi, accounts payable of the branch. So sino yung merong accounts payable? Si branch. Sino yung mababawasan ng accounts payable? Si branch. So the debit accounts payable goes to branch, pero the credit cash goes to home office. Okay? So with that said, again, fill things up with our reciprocal accounts. Diba? Madali. By the way, si home office kasi yung nagbayad para kay branch. So that means si home office ay nag-debit ng kanyang reciprocal account. Diba? So syempre si branch, hindi naman niya automatic malalaman na may nagbayad ng utang para sa kanya. So dapat malaman niya. So, paano niya malalaman? Sasabihin sa kanya ni home office. So, si home office sasabihin kay branch, uy, branch, binayaran ko na yung utang mo, ha? Okay? Paano niya sasabihin? Okay? Sasabihin po niya ito through a debit memorandum. Okay? Kasi yung debit memo means dinebit kita. Kita mo naman, si home office ay dinebit si branch, di ba? So, a debit memo sent by the home office means dinebit ni home office si branch. Means, tumaas yung reciprocal account. So, that means no, debit memo does not always increase. Kasi what if the branch sent the debit memo to the home office? That means si branch, dinebit niya si home office. Eh, di ba, equity account ang meron si branch kay home office? So, kapag dinebit mo yon, bababa. Okay? So, debit memo doesn't always mean increase. Debit memo doesn't always mean decrease. Titignan mo sino ba yung nag-send. Okay? Debit memo sent by the home office, increase. Kita mo naman. And debit memo sent by the branch, decrease. Kasi dinebit niya yung home office current na merong normal balance credit. Diba? Okay. Isa pa nga. This time, home office collected receivables of the branch. So, ako ay nag-collect ng receivables ko. Debit cash, credit receivables. This time, sino nag-collect? Si home office po nag-collect ng receivables ni branch. So, debit cash si home office and credit accounts receivable si branch. So, split ulit natin. And then, let's fill things up, no? So, let's fill things with the reciprocal accounts. So, kita mo naman, this time, home office credit the investment in branch, nabawasan. And, syempre, mababawasan din dapat si branch books, no? So, home office current and debit ni branch books. Okay? So, this time, pagka-collect ni home office ng AR ni branch, si home office ay magpapadala kay branch ng tinatawag nating credit memo. Okay? Next. Next is home office purchased PPE for the branch. Pero tignan mo to, no? The company policy is to keep the PPE accounts in the home office. So, bakit may ganun? The reason for that is, sabi nga natin, si branch maliit lang compared kay home office. Si branch, in-establish lang yan para makabenta sa ibang lugar. So, essentially, si branch, gusto ko lang magbenta ng magbenta. Ayoko nang i-bombard si branch ng ibang problema. Ayoko nang isipin ni branch yung mga long-term goals ng company. Kailangan ba natin bumili ng bagong equipment? Kailangan ko ba mag-invest sa bagong building? Kailangan ko ba mag-expand ng product line ko? Ayoko nang i-bombard kay branch yun kasi maliit lang si branch. Okay? Yung mga ganong decisions, yung mga long-term strategies ng company, dapat sa home office na yan. Kaya, even the long-term assets, most of the time, not always, okay? Pero most of the time, nilalagay natin sa records ni home office. Okay? So, physically, gamit ni branch. Pero, accounting-wise, nasa records ni home office. Bakit? Si branch gusto ko mag-focus lang magbenta, bumili, short term lang. Si home office nang bahala sa long term. Bumili ng PPE, i-depreciate yung PPE na yon, i-test for impairment, kung revaluation method, mag-revalue, and so on and so forth. Lahat ng may kinalaman sa mga long-term assets, most of the time, kay home office na. Pero that's not something that you would assume, okay? That's not something that you would assume by default. Kailangan sabihin ng problem. Kapag hindi sinabi ng problem, I would say safer pa rin i-assume na kung sino yung gumagamit, siya yung nagre-record. But in this case, very clear, the company policy is to keep the PPE accounts in the books of the home office. Okay? So, sige. Basahin muna natin ulit yung first sentence. Home office purchased PPE for the branch. So, ako ay bumili ng PPE para sa sarili ko. So, kung ako ay bumili ng PPE, that's going to be debit PPE, credit cash. Tama? Now, sino yung bumili? Si home office. So, sa kanya, sa kanya yung credit cash. Siya yung bumili. Okay? Tapos, at the same time, sino yung magre-record ng PPE? Technically, si branch dapat kasi siya yung gagamit. But because of this company policy, hindi po si branch ang magre-record. Si home office po ang magre-record. Okay? So, both the debit PPE and the credit cash will go to the home office. Okay? So, paano yan? Anong meron kay branch? Okay? So, si branch po, wala siyang magiging journal entry. Wala siyang madedebit, wala siyang mga credit, no? Wait lang. Isa pa. Napansin ko, debit, PPE, credit cash, si home office, kompleto na yung etong entry na to. That means, wala na akong balancing figure, no? That means pala, hindi pala lahat ng transaction between the home office and the branch would affect the amount of the reciprocal accounts. Di ba? Nakita mo naman, tapos na yung journal entry natin kay home office. Hindi naman tayo nag-debit nor nag-credit ng investment in branch. So, meron pong mga transactions between the home office and the branch na hindi nagagalaw yung ating reciprocal accounts. And this is one of those transactions. Okay? So, balik tayo sa tanong. How will the branch record it? Pwede bang no entry na lang? Wag, okay? Kasi 'di ba magugulat si branch na bigla na lang merong PPE sa facility niya. Siyempre dapat meron tayong record kung saan galing 'yon. That's why meron tayong memorandum entry para kay branch. Okay? So lagay lang ni branch. So the home office purchased equipment, purchased PPE for me on this day, ganun ganun. Okay? So with that said, dahil tayo ay bumili ng PPE, syempre yung PPE na yan is i-depreciate natin, di ba? So, paano nga ulit mag-depreciate ng PPE? That's going to be debit depreciation expense, credit accumulated depreciation. Okay? So, the rule is kung sino yung gumagamit sa kanyang expense. Lugi naman kung hindi na nga ako yung gumagamit, akin pa yung expense, di ba? So, kung sino gumagamit ng PPE, sa kanya ang expense, of course. Pero, yung accumulated depreciation is a contra asset. Di ba? Contra asset yan. Kung contra asset yan, that means sundan niya yung asset na kinokontra niya. Kundi walang sense. Tinawag mo pang contra asset, wala naman pala siyang asset na kinokontra. So, that means accumulated depreciation will follow kung nasan man yung PPE. In our case, because of the company policy, the PPE is with the home office. Therefore, the accumulated depreciation should also be with the home office. Meanwhile, the depreciation expense should be with the branch kasi si branch naman talaga ang gumagamit. So when you depreciate it, the journal entries will look something like this. Okay? So dahil dyan, kita mo naman, meron na naman balancing figures. So we fill those up with our reciprocal accounts. Alright? So with that said, let's have another. In this case, home office purchased PPE for the branch pa rin. So, same transaction. But this time, the company policy is to keep PPE accounts in the books of the user. So, kung sino raw gumagamit, sa kanya PPE. Okay? So, the entry na together will still be the same, debit PPE, credit cash. But this time, hindi na company policy na lahat kay home office. This time, kung sino raw gumagamit, kanya na lang yung PPE. So, the PPE will belong to the branch. So, sa kanya yung debit PPE. Pero dahil si home office ang bumili, credit cash kay home office. Okay? So, split ulit natin at dahil may balancing figure, palabasin natin yung ating reciprocal accounts. No? So, it looks something like this. Okay? Now, syempre, PPE most likely is depreciable unless land yan. So, let's depreciate. So, ang depreciation natin will be still depreciation expense, credit accumulated depreciation. Pero, sino yung depreciation expense? Siyempre, kung sino yung gumagamit, which is the branch. And next, kanino yung accumulated depreciation? Kung na kanino yung PPE, which is the asset, di ba? So, kay branch din. So, that means this time, both the debit PPE and the credit accumulated depreciation will belong to the branch, di ba? So, that means, how do we record it in the books of the home office? Okay? Memo entry? Hindi. No entry na po. Okay, no entry na. Sir, bakit? Eh, syempre, anong kinalaman ni home office dun sa bagay na nakay branch, na si branch mismo nagde-depreciate, okay? Kanina may memo entry si branch kasi nakay branch talaga yung PPE. Okay? Ngayon, si home office, walang entry kasi wala naman siyang kinalaman. Na kanino yung PPE? Nakay branch. Na kanino yung record sa PPE? Nakay branch. Sino gumagamit ng PPE? Si branch. Lahat na lang kay branch yan eh. So, anong kinalaman ni home office doon? Wala. So, ba't siya magre-record? Hindi. No entry. Okay? So, with that said, I guess that marks the end of this first quick vid for home office and branch. Hope you learned something. We'll see each other in the next quick video for home office and branch. Let us now move on to the next topic in home office and branch, which will be shipments at billed price. Okay? So, first of all, bakit ba natin kailangan mag-ship at billed price? Okay? Kasi ganito po. Si home office, syempre maraming trabaho yan. Si branch, syempre maraming trabaho rin. Let's say si branch, request ng shipments from the home office. So that means si home office, lagi na lang magpapadala kay branch. To the point na siguro may mga araw na wala na siyang ibang nagawang trabaho, kundi magpadala kay branch. Okay? Now, with that said, that means baka isipin ni home office, okay, I'm so productive. Ang dami kong nagawa ngayon. Pero pag nakita natin yung financial report ni home office, baka makita natin na zero lang yung profit niya. So kapag inassess ng top management si home office manager, baka sabihin, "Hoy, home office manager, ano bang ginagawa mo? Meron ka bang trabahong ginagawa? Bakit zero ka? Okay? Bakit for the whole month zero ka?" So, syempre, ang unfair naman kay home office. Ang dami niyang ginawa. Nagpadala siya na nagpadala kay branch ng mga goods. Tapos, hindi nagre-reflect sa financial reports ni home office. Kasi syempre, nagpapadala siya at cost. As in, kung magkano binili ni home office, ganun lang din niya pinapadala kay branch. So, zero siya. So, break-even siya. So, na-judge tuloy siya ng top management unfairly. Sobrang nakaka-demotivate kaya yun. Diba? Yung trabaho ko ng trabaho, ginawa mo na yung best mo, and yet wala lang, 'di ba? So, paano natin yun? Paano natin ire-remedy 'yon? So, we can remedy that by the home office shipping the goods to the branch at billed price. Tubuan niya si branch para makita ng top management na si home office may ginagawa para ma-judge siya fairly this time. Okay? So, even though baka sabihin mo, sir, 'di ba one company lang sila, one company lang dapat di niya tinutubuan ang sarili niya. Yes, for external reporting purposes. Itandaan, accounting is not just for external financial users, di ba? It is also for internal users of financial information. It is also for managers. So, ang unfair naman kung yung operational level manager ay break-even lang ng break-even. Okay? So, pwede niya tubuan, basta bantayan natin. Tubuan natin siya para for internal reporting, na-judge natin sila correctly. Pero syempre, tanggalin natin yung tubo na yun later para for external reporting purposes, hindi tayo mukhang mukhang weird, okay? Kasi syempre sabi natin, hindi pwedeng magtubo sa sarili for external financial reporting. Okay? So with that said, tingnan natin tong sample sa taas ko, just like how we left off. Sabi, home office ship goods to the branch at billed price. So what is the entry? Ganun pa rin naman, shipments, okay? Shipments. So ganito pa rin naman yung entry. Pero tandaan natin na ang shipments from home office will go to the branch books, di ba? Mapupunta yan kay branch books. Pero syempre si branch, ang alam lang niya ay magkano siya sinisingil ng home office, 'di ba? Like kunwari ikaw, kapag bumili ka ng something, ang alam mo lang ay magkano ka sinisingil nung pinagbilhan mo. Hindi mo naman tatanungin yung pinagbilhan mo kung magkano niya binili sa pinagbilhan niya. Tama? So that means hindi mo alam, kung ikaw si branch, hindi mo alam yung cost. Ang alam mo ay yung build price. Alam mo magkano sinisingil sa'yo, pero hindi mo alam magkano binili yan ng naniningil sa'yo. Tama? Sino nakakaalam nun? Siyempre, yung nagpadala, yung home office. Yung home office, alam niya both yung magkano niya binili and magkano niya ipapadala. Okay? So, si home office, alam niya both cost and build price. Magkano binili, magkano pinadala. Si branch, isa lang ang alam niya, build price lang. Uulitin ko kasi sobrang importante. Okay. Si branch, ang alam lang niya ay build price. Hindi po niya alam yung cost. Okay? Very important concept later. But for now, that means the journal entry will be like this, no? And obviously, hindi yan balance. Okay? So, shipments from home office at build price, shipments to branch at cost. Shipments to home office at build price kasi yan lang ang alam ni branch. Magkano siya sinisingil. Shipments to branch at cost kasi syempre, that is a derecognition of inventory. Magkano ba yan ni-recognize in the first place? Ni-recognize yan at cost, i-de-recognize yan also at cost. Conceptual framework lang. So, let's finally split the entries, okay? And fill in the gaps, okay? So, ganyan yung makikita mo. Alright? Pero there's something wrong. Bakit? Kasi kapag nilagyan natin ng amounts tong dalawang to, no? Okay? Especially ito at ito. Okay? Kapag nilagyan natin ng amounts yung dalawang yan, parang hindi magbabalanse sa isa't isa. Sabi natin, the reciprocal accounts should always be the same with each other. 'Di ba? Dapat parehas sila sa isa't isa. So, that means mali ito. So, sino mag-a-adjust? Definitely, hindi si branch ang mag-a-adjust kasi si branch, ang alam lang niya ay build price. Ang nakakaalam ng lahat ay si home office. Alam ni home office magkano ang build price, alam ni home office magkano ang cost. Okay? So that means, palitan natin tong amount na to, no? So, palitan ko ng build price. So, obviously, hindi na siya balanse. Okay? Kasi, lalagyan natin ng dagdag credit dito, yung tubo na ginawa ni home office kay branch. Kasi 'di ba sinabi natin yung tubo na yon ay bawal talaga for external financial reporting, 'di ba? So, tatanggalin natin yan later. Kaya, ise-separate ko yung account title para doon. Ayaw lumabas. Ayan po, no? So, that is known as the branch loading. Okay? So, with that said, how do we actually solve yung ating problems? So, meron tayong template, no? So, the template will be something like this. This is actually how you solve for the cost of goods sold. Okay? So, paano nga ulit mag-solve ng cost of goods sold kapag tayo ay basic accounting? Di ba? Very simple lang. That's the beginning inventory plus the purchases is equal to the TIGAS, total goods available for sale, minus the ending inventory will give you the cost of goods sold. So ngayon, in-expand lang natin yung concept na yon. Beginning plus during na dagdag pa rin naman po. No? Beginning plus during is equal to TIGAS minus ending is equal to cost of goods sold. Ganun na ganun pa rin po. Pero syempre, hihiwalayin natin yung columns this time. Okay? Una-una, 3 columns yung nakikita mo dito. Bakit 3 yung nakikita mo dyan? Kasi, okay? Kasi, the build price is equal to the cost plus the branch loading. Ito yung magkano binili ni home office. Ito yung magkano yung tubo ni home office is equal to ito yung magkano ang sinisingil natin kay branch. Di ba? So that means si branch, ang alam lang niya ay yung column na to, the build price column. Meanwhile, ang dapat na ginagamit natin for combination purposes, kasi 'di ba for external financial reporting, hindi dapat kasama ito, which is yung tubo sa sarili. So therefore, dapat ang gamit natin ay yung cost. Okay? Yung cost ang gamit natin for external financial reporting. That's the build price minus the branch loading is equal to the cost. Okay? So, with that said, let's dig deeper dun sa ating template. Yung template natin is simply beginning plus during is equal to TIGAS minus ending is equal to COGS. Okay? Pero, yung beginning ko, in-split ko into 2. Kung napansin mo, dalawa po dito. Okay? We have the beginning inventory purchased from outsiders. Kasi, si branch pwede naman siyang bumili from outsiders, di ba? Okay? Pero at the same time, pwede rin pong may mga inventory siya na galing kay home office. So, ito po yon. So, ba't kailangan pang paghiwalayin yung beginning inventory ni branch? Kasi ganito. Kapag si home office tinubuan si branch, bawal for external reporting. Pero, kapag ibang tao tinubuan si branch, pwede. Di ba? Normal lang naman yan. Ibang tao tutubuan ka. Pwede, pwede. Okay? So, that means ganito po. That means, yung branch loading kapag outsider, that should be 0. Okay? 0 dapat itong branch loading na to. Pero, syempre, yung branch loading dito sa galing sa home office, merong laman yan. Next, yung ating dagdag sa inventory. So, galing din sa dalawang tao. Galing sa ibang tao at galing sa home office. Kaya nakikita mo dito, no? Galing sa ibang tao is known as the purchases. Alam na natin yan since basic accounting. And galing sa home office is shipments from home office. Alam na natin yan since yung quick bid before to. Okay? O syempre, dapat before pa yun, no? Dapat undergrad pa, alam mo na yan. Anyway, so, ganun din po. Bakit pinaghiwalay? Kasi syempre, yung purchases galing sa outsider yan. So, that means itong branch loading na to should also be 0. Okay? So, that gives you ganyan, no? Okay? So, kapag in-add natin yan, we get the total goods available for sale. And then, lastly, ganun pa rin, yung ending inventory natin galing sa dalawang tao. Meron galing sa outsider, merong galing sa home office. Kaya natin pinaghiwalay kasi yung galing sa outsider will have 0. Okay? 0 branch loading. So, this is how you solve the cost of goods sold of the branch. Alin nga ulit dito ang nire-report ni branch? Yung at build price. Alin dito ang dapat na ginagamit natin for combination? Yung at cost. Alin yung tubo ni home office doon? Yung branch loading. Okay? So, with that said, let's just give a few reminders. So, reminder, sinabi na natin to kanina, pero just to emphasize, ganun siya ka-importante. Inventory in the branches books are stated at build price. Kung napansin mo yung journal entry earlier this video, at build price siya. Diba? And anywhere, anytime, dun sa books ni branch, ang alam niya is build price. Bakit nga ulit? Kasi syempre ikaw ang alam mo lang ay magkano ang sinisingil sa'yo. Hindi magkano binili yan ng naniningil sa'yo. Okay? So, finally, let's go to an illustration. So, in this illustration, medyo mahaba yung problem. Let me just read ang sabi. During 2030, ABC Corporation's home office shipped its goods to its branch at a markup of 20% above cost. So, binigay niya, no, magkano ba yung tubo ng home office sa branch? It's a markup of 20% above cost. Okay? Next. In 2031, this rate was increased by 5% points. Okay? By 5% points, I mean from 20, naging 25%. Okay? Kasi yung iba, yung interpretation nila dun sa increase by 5%, as in, 20% times 5%, yun yung in-increase. So, 4% lang tuloy na i-increase. Okay? So, dito, para malinaw, ginawa ko na lang na 5 percentage points. Alright? Pero, even if hindi niya sabihin yung points, for the Philippine Board examinations, no, percent points and percent usually same na sila. Okay? Pero when you take international exams, magkaiba po 'yon, yung percent points and percentage. Okay? Next. When the branch had a total of 224,400 beginning inventory, all of which came from the home office. So dito napakalinaw naman po na lahat galing sa home office, walang galing sa outsider. Okay? Next. Ang sabi next ay, during the year 2031, which I assume yan yung sinosolve natin ngayon, the branch purchased 480 worth of goods from its suppliers. So ano yan? Purchases from outsiders, no? So walang branch loading dyan, ha? Okay? Next. Ang sabi, and received goods from the home office billed at 431,250. Take note of the word used. Ang ginamit po niya ay build. Minsan kasi ang ginagamit dyan is yung word na costing. Okay? Ship goods, costing, ganyan. So, kung costing, yan yung magkano yung credit ni home office, shipments to branch. Pero, kung yan ay billed, yan yung magkano yung dinebit ni branch, no? Dinebit ni branch. Kasi, di ba, si branch, ang alam lang niya is billed price. Okay? Next, ang sabi, as per the 2031 separate statement of financial position of the home office, the loading in branch inventory account had an adjusted ending balance of 37,500. Ano pong meaning nun? Simply speaking, yan yung ending balance ng ating branch loading. Okay? Or yung allowance account ni home office kay branch. Yan yung tubo. Yan yung natitira pang tubo na hawak-hawak pa ni branch yung inventory. Okay? Next. As per the 2031 combined statement of profits and losses, the cost of goods totaled 1,705,200 inclusive of 893,200 attributable to the home office. So, binigay niya yung cost of goods sold sa ating combined FS. Tapos, binigay din niya magkano dyan yung galing kay home office. So, that means makukuha mo later kung magkano yung galing kay branch doon. Diba? At syempre, yung galing kay branch, ilalagay natin sa ating template na i-bring up na natin ngayon. So, here's the template. And if i-fill up lang natin tong template na to. Alright? So with that said, let's start from the very beginning ulit, no? Ang sabi, the home office shipped goods to its branch at a markup of 20% above cost. Pero that's only last year, nung 2030. This year kasi, 25% ng markup niya. Anong implication nun? The implication is, yung ating beginning inventory will be affected by the 20%. Oh, no, sorry, not this one, no? Ito lang. Okay? Bakit? Kasi nasabi ko yung outsider, 0. Okay? So, lagay ko na, bago pa tayo malito, 0 to. Ito rin pong purchases, this will be 0. Ito rin pong galing sa outsider, this will be minus 0. Dito. Okay? So, 0 na yan, for sure. So, that means, dahil ito ay build price is equal to cost, saan ko sinulat yan? Is equal to cost plus branch loading. Ganyan. Perfect. Okay? That means, ito at ito, itong dalawa sa outsider is equal. Itong dalawa sa outsider, equal. Itong dalawa sa outsider, equal. Okay? So, as I was saying, anong implication ng 20% na 25% na ngayon? Ganito po. Yung beginning inventory natin from home office will be affected by 20%. Pero, yung ating shipments from home office this year will be affected by 25%. Bakit? Kasi beginning inventory is simply ending inventory last year, di ba? Beginning this year is ending last year. Eh last year, magkano nga, or rather, ilang percent nga ang gamit nating rate? 20. So that means yung beginning inventory natin ay naka 20% pa. Pero this year, bago na. This year, 25% na. So that means shipments from home office will be affected by 25% markup na po. Okay? Lastly, yung ating ending inventory, no? Yung ating ending inventory, assuming FIFO kasi, malamang ang unang mawawala ay yung mga beginning. So malamang ang matitira lang sa dulo ay yung galing this year. So that means ang affected dito, no? Ang rate na makaka-affect dito sa ending inventory natin will also be 25%. So that means next year, yung beginning inventory next year will be 25%. So umulit lang. Tama? Okay? So with that said, alam na natin yung effect ng mga rate na yan. Next, ang sabi, when the branch had a total of 224,400 beginning inventory, all of which came from the home office. So, that means 0 ito and 0 ito. Okay? 0 yung ating beginning inventory from outsider and the entire 224,400 pesos worth of beginning inventory will be coming from the home office. So, the question is, saan ko ilalagay? Left side, right side. Build price, cost. I'll give you a second to think about it. Pero to be honest, hindi dapat may nag-uusapan. Kasi in-emphasize na natin kanina, di ba? Sinabi na natin na ang alam lang ni branch ay build price. Tama? So that means kung may na-report na something si branch, most likely that is reported at build price. So dito ko po ilalagay ang ating 224,400. Dito. Nakuha natin, class? Okay. Now, dahil this is build no at 20% above cost, that means 224,400 is 120% of cost. Okay? So, kindly divide that. 224,400 divided by 120%. If I can just ask Miss Dayan, pahiram po ng calculator. Thank you po. So, may cameo pa ang calculator ni Miss Dayan. So, 224,400 divided by 120%, that gives us 187,000, right? So, this is 187,000. Okay po? So, that simply means our branch loading will have a balance of 37,400 pesos for the beginning inventory. Okay? So, ano ibig sabihin nitong mga numbers na to? How much is the beginning inventory of the branch? 224,400. How much is the beginning inventory of the branch at cost? 187. Okay? So, ito talaga yung true cost. Ito talaga yung totoo dapat. Okay? And how much is the beginning balance of the branch loading account in the books of the home office? 37,400. Okay? So, ganun po, no? Next. Next, ang sinabi niya is, during the year 2031, the branch purchased 480 worth of goods from its suppliers. So, again, meron kang purchases this time, 480. And even though dito ko siya nilagay, kasi dito naman talaga siya dapat, dahil alam kong wala namang branch loading kapag outsider, that means the cost is also 480. Okay? Kasi nga, wala namang branch loading. Okay? Next tayo, shipments. Ang sabi sa shipments ay, received goods from the home office, billed, di ba? Billed. Billed at 431,250. So that means this is going to go here. 431,250. 431,250. Dito po. Kasi kung sinabi niya, received goods costing 431,250, kung costing yung sinabi ng problem, dito ko ilalagay. Di ba? Dito. Okay? So, magkaiba po yun, no? So, this year, ilan nga ang markup natin? That's 25% kasi nag-increase daw ng 5 percentage points. So, 431,250 divided by 125% this time, that will give us 345,000. Okay po? So, that means, i-minus natin or simply multiply mo by 25% itong cost, that will give you the branch loading of 86,250. So, if put na natin lahat yan. Okay? So, that will give us total goods available for sale na 113,550. That will also give us the cost of the total goods available for sale of 1,012,000. And this is the unadjusted ending balance. Okay? Unadjusted ending balance of the branch loading. Okay? Ito pong katapat ng tigas is the unadjusted ending balance. So that will be 123,650. Lagay ko dito sa gilid. Kasya pa ba? Yes po. This is the unadjusted ending. So this is the beginning balance ng ating AFOBIA tuloy. Branch loading. AFOBIA is an acronym I made for allowance for overvaluation of branch inventory account. Okay? So, anyway, let's go to the next given. Ang sabi, as per the 2031 separate statement of financial position of the home office, the loading in branch inventory account had an adjusted balance. So, adjusted ending na to. Okay? Adjusted ending balance of 37,800. So, dito ko po lalagay yan, yung katapat ng ating ending inventory, no? So, this is 37,800, or rather, 37,500 pala. Apologies for that. So, this is the adjusted ending balance. Okay? So, with that said, alam mo naman na based on FIFO, this will be affected by 25% markup, di ba? So, this is the 25% markup. So, kindly work it back, di ba? So, kaya nating i-work back, kaya nating i-work back yan mamaya. Alright? Meron pa ba siyang ibang sinabi dito? Sige, let's just work it back for now. So, 37,500 divided by 25%. 37,500 divided by 25%. That gives us 150,000. Okay po, 150,000. And of course, kaya nating i-add back yan. We get 187,500. What is 187,500? That is the ending balance of the branch in the branch books. Okay po. So, ganyan po, no? Apologies, parang lumipad lang yon. So, let me just correct that. Ayan, better. Okay? So, sige, basahin na ulit natin yung given. Sorry, naharangan ko. Ang sabi, as per the 2031 combined statement of profits and losses, the cost of goods sold totaled 1,705,200, inclusive of 893,200 attributable to the home office. So, syempre, home office and branch lang naman, kunin natin yung para kay branch, di ba? So, that's simply deducting the two balances. So, 1,705,200 minus 893,200, that will give me 812,000, 'di ba? So what is 812,000? That's the cost of goods sold of the branch. Tama? So, saan po natin lalagay yung 812,000? Dapat ilalagay natin siya dun sa column ng cost, 'di ba? So, that means dito natin lalagay yung 812, no? Hindi dito, kasi ito ay build price. Yan yung nire-report ni branch. Pero, hindi yan yung dapat sinasama natin sa combined FS. Ang kasama sa combined FS ay yung nandito sa at cost. So, dito ko po ilalagay ang ating 812,000. Okay? So, with that said, kaya na po natin isolve, no? Kasi syempre, yung dito sa column ng branch loading, kaya na natin kunin yung ating adjustment. Okay? So the adjustment is 123,650 minus 0 minus 37,5. That should give you 86,150. And of course, 86,150 to, 812,000 to, we can work it up papunta dito sa ating cost of goods sold reported by the branch. So that should give you 898,150. Okay? So, 898,150 po ang ating cost of goods sold of the branch. So finally, we can work up magkano kaya yung ating ending inventory from outsiders. Okay? So, syempre, kindly squeeze the amount as in 898,150 plus 187,500 minus 113,560. That will give you 50,000. At dahil galing sa outsiders yan, kinopy ko na rin siya sa ating cost column. Okay? So that means, ito ang cost of goods sold reported by the branch. Ito ang ating cost of goods sold included in the combined FS. Okay? Cost of goods sold of the branch included in the combined FS. And ito ang ating adjustment in the branch cost of goods sold. As in, from 898,150, naging 812 na lang, no? So, ang tanong para 86150 ang sagot is, how much is the branch overvaluation in the cost of goods sold? All right? So, by how much is the branch cost of goods sold overstated, or by how much is the branch net income understated as a result of that? Okay? So, that means 86,150 po. Yan. All right? So, that's it for this problem. Kindly screenshot and we'll wrap things up. So, ang hindi natin na-capture dito no, sa ating ginawa is paano ba tayo mag-solve naman for the home office. Okay? So, for the home office, hindi na tayo gagamit ng ganitong solution kasi sa home office, wala namang nagsisinungaling sa kanya, di ba? Kasi wala namang tumutubo sa kanya na bawal dapat. So, lahat sa home office ay galing sa outsider. So, essentially, that's still the same as how you solve in the basic accounting kung paano ka mag-solve ng cost of goods sold. But the only difference is, si home office, hindi lahat ng meron siya ay pwede niyang ibenta kasi may mga pinadala na siya sa branch. Tama? So, yung pinadala niya sa branch, bawal nang ibenta ng home office kasi si branch na yung magbebenta nun. So, in other words, meron lang isang minor tweak dun sa ating solution to get the cost of goods sold. And that is to reduce, no? That is to reduce it by the shipments to branch. Okay? So, the solution will be beginning inventory of the home office plus purchases by the home office minus shipments to branch. Now, ano nga yung shipments to branch? Siyempre, at cost yan, di ba? Ginawa natin yun sa journal entry at the start of this quick video. So, beginning inventory plus purchase minus shipments to branch, that will be your total goods available for sale. Less that with your ending inventory of the home office, that means you get the cost of goods sold of the home office. So, yun yung sinasabi kaninang cost of goods sold of the home office dun sa given, no? So, with that said, I guess that marks the end of our quick video for shipments at build price. See you at the last part of this quick video for the home office and branch and agency series. Thank you. Now let's go to the last part of home office and branch, or should we say home office and agency naman this time, no? So what's the difference? So, unang-una, ano bang pinagkaiba ng agency and ng branch, no? So of course, an agency has no autonomy at all. Meanwhile, a branch has autonomy to some degree. Di ba sabi natin dun sa previous natin na quick vid, sabi natin ang branch, pwede naman siya mag-decide on its own when it comes to the operations, no? Like purchasing, selling, paying, collecting, yung mga ganong bagay, pwede mag-decide mag-isa si branch. Pero not the same, no? Not the same case for the agency. The agency is totally dependent on the home office. Okay? So yung agency, from the name itself, agency, so agent lang siya ng home office. Wala siya kung walang home office. Wala siyang operations kung walang home office. Okay? At the same time, wala rin pong separate books ang ating agency. Now, alam natin ang home office meron. Ang branch meron, di ba? Yun nga yung first topic natin sa first quick video for this home office and branch and agency. Di ba? So, syempre, ang branch merong own books, ang agency wala. Ang branch, ina-account for natin using the reciprocal accounts usually. Meanwhile, ang agency, totally nandun sa books ni home office. Okay? So, yung mga transactions, the agency, ay nire-record natin sa books ni home office. Next and last, ano bang purpose ng ating agency? So, the agency's purpose is to display, no? Showcase lang. Pakita lang natin. Pag-attract lang tayo. Mag-attract lang tayo ng customers. Okay? Hindi natin purpose magbenta talaga. Pero of course, dahil may mga na-attract tayong customers, minsan may mga nabebenta tayo. Okay? Yung branch talaga, ang purpose niya ay magbenta talaga, no? So, its purpose is to sell. Okay? So, with that said, let us remember that the sales agency does not have autonomy. So therefore, yes, it may receive sales order kasi nga nag-a-attract siya ng mga customers, so merong mga o-order sa kanya. Pero by itself, hindi niya kayang mag-fill up ng mga orders na yon. Hindi siya pwedeng magbenta talaga, no? Ang nagbebenta talaga is the home office. So kailangan pa yang i-fill up ng home office. So sabi dito, sales orders received by the agency but not yet processed or approved by the home office are not included. Okay? So with that said, let's now go to the illustration. So sabi dito, on December 1, 2030, AB Corporation established a sales agency in Makati by transferring 50,000 cash to be maintained using an impressed system. So ito yung working fund na pwedeng gamitin ng agency. Okay? So syempre, ito yung mga pang-everyday expenditures niya like yung mga travel allowance, yung mga representation expense, yung mga ganun no, na usually pinepetty cash vouchers natin. Okay? Next. Sabi, and by shipping 12 months worth of samples costing 156,000. So of course, yung agency kailangan niya mag-attract ng mga customers kaya siya pinapadalhan ng samples, di ba? And syempre, yung samples on hand na yan, eventually, magiging samples expense siya. So yung pinadalang samples natin on December 1 ay 12 months worth na. Okay? So kung 1 month lang i-account for natin as yung natitirang 1 month for this year, edi times 1/12 natin yan mamaya. Okay? Next. Ang sabi, during the month, the agency submitted to the Home Office sales orders amounting to 264,000. So, maraming na-attract yung sales agency natin na customers. So, yung mga customers na yun, umorder tuloy sa agency. 264,000 sana yung sales ng agency, no? Kasi yung iba hindi umabot. Or siguro hindi na-approve dahil syempre nag-credit investigation yung home office, hindi nagustuhan yung credit rating, hindi in-approve yung purchase. So, mga ganon, okay? Or yung sale rather, no? So, sabi dito, but only 75 of which were approved and invoiced by the end of the calendar year. That doesn't mean yung 25 hindi ma-approve. Baka lang hindi umabot dun sa cut-off. Okay? So, syempre, yung 75 lang, yung i-account for natin for the remainder of this year. Next. Ang sabi, expense vouchers for the month were as follows. So, ito nga yung mga paggagastusan ng 50,000 na pinadala kanina, no? So, yung mga paggagastusan natin ay meal allowance, 2,000, rent, 3,000. So, rent dun sa kung saan ka nag-establish ng agency. Usually dun sa baba ng mga mall, di ba? Dun sa lower ground ng mga mall, may mga makikita ka dun nag-offer ng credit card, o kaya low down payment na sasakyan, o kaya insurance, o kaya mga ganon. Okay? So, mga agency po yun. Next, transportation allowance, of course, isa rin yon. And then lastly, binigay niya yung gross profit rate of the company, which is 50% based on sale. So with that said, let us answer. So syempre, we will solve the profit of the agency. Now take note, itong profit na to is reported as part of the profit of the home office, no? So itong profit na isosolve natin ngayon, the profit of the agency, is simply, again, for internal reporting purposes. Bakit? Ba't natin kailangan mag-solve ng profit ng agency kung kasama lang din naman pala yan sa home office? Kasi syempre, for decision making, di ba? For managerial purposes na naman. As in, gusto kong malaman kung worth it ba lahat ng hassle. Worth it ba magpadala ng cash doon? Worth it ba magpadala ng mga employees doon? Worth it ba na nagpapadala ako ng samples doon, di ba? Gusto ko lang malaman kung profitable ba yung pag-establish ko ng agency doon. Mamaya nagsasayang lang ako ng pera. Mamaya nagsasayang lang ako ng panahon, ng resources. Okay? So gusto ko malaman if it is worth it. Now, of course, other than, one of those factors that will affect your decision will be financial factors. Okay? Among others, syempre. Okay? So, sige, let's start. So, that means we will get the sales revenue generated by the agency. Now, of course, again, no, hindi po yan 264,000 kasi only 75% ang approved. So, paki-multiply po yon, that will give you 198. Okay? Now, less natin yung cost of goods sold niyan, which is 50%. Kasi sabi sa baba, gross profit rate is 50% of sales. So, if this is 100%, that means this is 50%. And this is 50% as well. So that means this is 99,000. And this as well is 99,000. The gross profit, I should say. Nakuha po natin. So, i-less na natin yung mga expenditures, no? So, first of all, yung mga cash expenditures natin. So, yung mga binayaran natin in cash using yung ating 50,000 petty cash or working fund is meron tayong meal allowance, 2,000, rent, 3,000, and transportation, 1,000. Okay? So, meal expense. Ano nga ulit? Meal, transportation, rent. Okay, rent, transportation. Rent expense, transportation expense. So the amounts are 2, 3, and 1 respectively. So minus 2,000, minus 3,000, and 1,000 respectively. Pero of course, other than cash expenditures, meron ka pang ibang expense. Ito yung asset na hinawakan mo na dahil pinamigay mo na-incur mo na as expense. Hindi na siya samples on hand. Samples expense na siya. Di ba? So, sino yung mga yon? That's yung binigay natin sa agency na 156, di ba? Pero yung 156 kasi is worth 12 months. So, kung worth 12 months yan, paki-divide by 12 to capture yung 1 month remaining. Kasi, syempre, December 1 ngayon. Okay? So, that's 156 divided by 12. Magkano ba yan? 156 divided by 12 is 13, no? So, minus 13,000. This is samples expense. Lagay ko lang sa gilid, paano nakuha? This is 156,000 divided by 12 months. Okay? So this will give you the net income or the profit generated by our agency. So paki-minus yan, that should give you 80,000. So yes, our agency is profitable. So kaya kong i-justify sa mga top level management na worth it mag-invest sa agency, no? Baka sasabihin nila, nagsasaya lang tayo ng panahon dyan sa malayong lugar na yan, pwede naman tayo magbenta na lang sa home office, no? So, ito yung justification na worth it lahat ng paghihirap na ginawa natin for the agency. Alright? So with that said, I guess that marks the end of this illustration. I'll just clear the board and then we'll wrap things up. So to summarize, first of all, home office, branch, and agency prepares only one set of financial statements for external reporting purposes. Pero syempre, for internal reporting, kung ano yung need ng ating company, di ba? Para ma-assess natin kung sinong manager yung ina-assess natin. Okay? So usually, one for the home office, one for the branch. Yung agency, usually ina-assess lang natin yung profitability niya to know if it is worth it. Okay? Next, branch is autonomous to some degree, not entirely. So of course, syempre yung branch is still aligned kung ano no, aligned with the long-term goals of the whole home office of the whole company. Okay? Meanwhile, yung agency totally no autonomy. As in yung agency totally 100% relies on the home office. Okay? Si branch at least to its operations, hindi niya kailangan mag-rely sa home office that much. Okay? Next, branch and home office can transact with each other. And syempre, most, but not all, most of those transactions will affect the reciprocal accounts. The reciprocal accounts, of course, are investment in branch in the home office books and home office current in the branch books. And those reciprocal accounts should always be equal in amount. And they should be opposite in sides, no? Kasi kung debit isa, credit isa. Kaya equal sila in amount. Kasi yung isa asset, yung isa equity. Kapag dinebit isa, credit isa, parehas umakyat, di ba? Or baka parehas bumaba. Sabay ang galaw. Okay? Lastly, sales orders from the agency are not included in sales if they are not yet approved by the home office. So, yun yung ginawa natin kanina. Even though 264 ata yung sales order na na-generate natin, hindi lahat trinit natin as sales kasi hindi pa lahat approved ng home office. Baka yung iba hindi pa approved, baka next month na lang, and baka yung iba hindi talaga approved at all kasi in credit investigation and other factors which would lead to disapproval of the sale. Okay? So with that said, that marks the end of our quick videos for home office, branch, and agency. Thank you.